I'm AJ Watson, founder and CEO of the Ascendancy Group. Surge Chicago 2018, aka the Ascendants, Rise Up. One of my favorite memories throughout this Surge Angels experience was in Memphis. And we had a chance to go visit the National Civil Rights Museum. And it wasn't my first time there, but we got a chance to interact with the president of the museum and really take it in through the lens and context of the work that we're trying to do with each of our different ventures and enterprises. And I think something just resonated and sat differently with me in that context, being together with my fellow founders in the cohort. It was moving, it was grounding, and ultimately it was inspiring. So tonight I will be bringing forth to the world for the first time my consultancy that I've called the Ascendancy Group. And the Ascendancy Group is a consulting firm that is planning to partner with social entrepreneurs, program leaders, and organizations that are on the path and on the journey to scaling and replication. When we think about the scaling field, it's a really interesting space. There's a lot of consolidation and kind of coalescing around this idea of scaling what works, which means you got to have evidence, there's got to be a clear need, you've got to have the resources, and you've got to have a clear strategy. But my argument, as somebody who has spent the last 9 to 10 years scaling my organization, Youth Guidance is Becoming a Man program, is that there's a missing piece that doesn't exist in the field. And that is real support for the scaling teams, not in a transactional way with a business plan, but in a transformational way with an ongoing long-term relationship that it can help somebody really know the steps they're about to go, the path that they're getting ready to walk down, because I've walked it before, and there are other folks who want to help them walk that path more successfully. So I think that's the most exciting part, is about what comes next. I think the last 7 months, what this cohort experience and opportunity from Surge has done is given me permission to dream, permission to actually think and see myself as a founder of something. And from the very first session, on the very first day when they addressed all of us as founders, it was a little disorienting at first, but I've come to really begin to let that identity really settle in and grow into it. And what comes next is this thing is, regardless of whether there's funding given tonight or not, this thing is going to become a reality. I've already had conversations with partners, with stakeholders, and they're excited. They're behind me. I have people in my corner who see the same thing that I see, that there's a missing piece to the puzzle, and they want to help me bring it to reality and bring it to fruition. So we're doing this thing. Why should more alums consider the Surge Angels experience? The short answer is, why not? Right? Like, not just what do you have to lose, but I think one of the things we talk and hear about a lot within the Surge space is this idea of honoring and recognizing our own genius, that we are uniquely qualified not just to do the jobs and the work that we are doing, but to lead this work, to lead this movement. And I don't know about everybody else, but while I've enjoyed the time I've spent with my organization and in the space, over the last 2 and 3 years, there's just been some things building up where I say, man, I wish I could spend more time on that thing. Oh, I wish I could work with that person a bit more. But that's not my organization's mission. That's not the focus and the scope of the work that we currently do. And I think that's appropriate, and I respect that. But there's something within me that I want to bring forward. And I don't know if that's true for everybody, but at a minimum, this experience gave me and gives you the opportunity to really go through a process to explore that, to take some dedicated time, with real support, coaching, love, and a little bit of nudging when necessary, to at least explore if that thing that's been kind of stirring inside, that's been nagging in the back of your mind, might actually be the thing that you were called and really are destined to do. So I invite all alums to not just look at Surge Angels, but to look at all the programming, but particularly if there's something inside that's stirring just a little bit, even if it's a spark, give it a little wind, give it a little space, and see if it's a brush fire waiting to happen.